welcome to Banter Such. I'm Brando.
And I'm Owen.
And today we are talking about Black Panther!
Wakanda Forever!
Oh, yeah!
And today we have a special guest on. You've heard her sultry, sweet, smoky, delicious voice before.
Nice.
It is Venus and Serena.
Hello, darlings. Yes, I'm going to be talking in a British accent today.
You colonizer.
Yes, enjoy my extremely feminine dulcet tones this entire time.
Oh, all right, let's get to some BS.
So today, honestly, I'm super excited to talk about Black Panther.
Black Panda? Is that what
Black Pandas. I love that anime.
They got to reach that Chinese audience.
Yes, yeah, the Black Panda.
Not the Black Panda. Are they the antithesis to the Black Panther?
Yeah, it's dumb idiot stepbrother is a Black Panda. Just gets high all day long and eats.
Listen,
Yeah,
Brando
bamboo.
is
Falls out
right
of
here.
trees.
Brando is right here. You didn't need to talk about that.
Well, before we get into Black Panda, we need to get into a couple things about Banter Such and the Helios Network.
Yes, first of all, we are taking a shot.
Okay. Oh, yeah, let's do some shots.
We have no bananas. We have no bananas today.
That one's for Wasted Truth. And if you
Also-
don't get that reference, listen to Wasted Truth.
Oh, check it out. But I do want to let you know all about our amazing merch that we have at theheliosnetwork.com. We have Wasted Truth shirts, first of all, which I'm wearing right now under
Oh, look at you.
my sweater here because it's sweater weather. So, but
The best time of year.
oh yes, we also have Banter and Such stickers, which I just went through my whole notebook, so I'll be covering the front of my new one with Banter and Such stickers.
Yes, we need to update your stickers.
I know. And
Should we get Banter and Such pasties made?
I mean, I'd wear them at a show. Like, no, for real.
What we should do is we should get the Brando and Owen from the logo of Banter and Such
As
as pasties and Venus. You can wear one over each nipple for your next show.
I totally will do it.
So we have Brando and Owen pins also.
Pasties is how it's pronounced.
Pasties.
Pins and
Pasties.
pasties soon to come. But we are going to put up some more merch also soon.
Yes.
When is the edible panties going to be released?
Who says I wear underwear?
Oh, that's true.
There we go.
Underwear went out in like what, 7th grade?
That soon.
Yeah, wow. Okay. And if you'd like to support the show and our edible underwear fetish, you can go to our Patreon. The show link, the link is in the show notes. As well, honestly, we know Patreon can be a little hard monetarily, but if you just want to support the show wherever you listen to it, like, subscribe, smash that like bell, hit that gong and ring that dong, and rate us 5 stars.
5 stars.
Yeah.
Use protection. Yes, do all of that.
Yeah. Also, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
we have been itching, like, before we hit the record button today, we were, like, biting our tongues trying not to talk about Black Panther.
Yes.
We are that excited to talk about it. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to love there and a lot to say.
Yes.
So finally we can talk about it. This is I think the biggest movie of the year right here. This one right
Possibly,
here.
but before we get into that,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Venus
Yes,
and
here.
Serena,
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
show us your receipts.
My receipts.
Why are you on this episode of Banter and Such?
Oh, well, I'm black.
Okay, cool.
So
There
Yeah.
we go.
That's it. That's the reason why we invited you. Cultural appropriation. We couldn't do this episode without a black person, and you're the only black person I know.
exactly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're the only bald white guy I hit on.
So we're both telling lies.
Exactly. No.
I'm sorry, you just caught me. Both of you caught me off guard with
Yeah.
that shit right there.
Oh, that's why me and Owen are good friends. But actually, I'm pretty sure what gave Owen this idea is that he was DJing a show over at Old Glory, and I came out and performed as the Black Panther to
wow.
it was Formation by Beyonce.
Like in costume?
I have a cosplay of it.
So what does it look like? Is it comic
I
accurate or is it like
movie
twist on it? Okay.
mixed with comic.
Okay.
It's more the movie, and but you came out in like a fur coat, and you did this whole like sexy slow walk down the stairs, and then as like formation, the song picked up. She like dropped the coat, and it was just a Black Panther costume. I was like, oh wow, god damn it.
Yes.
So previously you were on, I think it was all the way
Batman.
back in the Batman episode. We were talking about the Schumacher and Keaton Batman movies.
Can we have a moment of silence for Kevin Conroy?
Oh yes.
Oh man, that was a bummer.
I
he was young too. He was only like
66. Died of cancer.
Man.
Honestly, I've never cried over a celebrity death before. I almost bawled my eyes out hearing Kevin Conroy.
Yeah.
Well, he was part of our childhood.
Yeah.
So that was I got teary eyed too. So don't feel bad.
Yeah. I mean, we did talk a little bit. I mean, the Batman ones we did more of the movies, but we did talk a lot about Phantom of the Opera.
Mask of the Phantasm.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah.
But I guess now we have
the
to do a
Phantasm
Batman.
of Masked Opera.
Yes. Well, that honestly, like I still read comic books to this day, and when I do read Batman comics, I hear them with Kevin Conroy's voice.
Yeah.
Man, he was.
The
voice
most
of the character.
iconic voice acting duo for superheroes. It has to be Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy.
Yeah.
I mean, they've totally bonked at least a couple of times.
yeah. Actually, I didn't know that Kevin Conroy was gay until a couple years ago.
Oh, that's
He's
right.
gay?
Yeah, he was gay.
Oh, so Batman actually is gay. We all just assumed. That's why he kept putting, Robin and Nightwing in those tight pants and everything.
Yeah.
It all makes sense.
Well, speaking of tight pants, to get us off topic.
Sorry.
No, I mean like I said, I think this is probably the biggest movie of the year in a year where like we've been looking totally like at the box office, like because that's the question in our culture is, are people going to the movie theaters anymore, right? Because it was already on a decline, and then COVID happened, and now it's like, okay, are movies dead? And I don't think they are, man. When you look at like how many people are going to see this, like everybody's talking about it. This is a big deal, man.
It's not dead, but also people are just pickier now. Like, no offense, I saw Black Adam. It was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
I still haven't seen that.
It's nothing on Black Panther. Like, and even Dwayne The Rock Johnson is like, nah, Black Panther's better than Black Adam.
So are you guys ready for this? I just pulled up the numbers.
Yes.
All right. So Top Gun Maverick did $126.7 million opening weekend domestically.
Okay. Just domestically. Okay.
Domestically was 126.7 million domestically.
Really huge.
I'm sure Sarah Palin is so happy about that. Maverick.
Wakanda Forever did 181 million domestically.
Wow. Opening weekend.
Yeah.
So if it has
according to
anywhere
Forbes, and then they did 331 million worldwide opening weekend.
Wow.
They've already beat the budget.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the first weekend.
Yeah.
That's the thing. If it has anywhere near, now I know Top Gun had like long legs because it just kept going and kept going. If Black Panther does anything like that, it's just going to make so much money, man. It's just
a beautiful movie. I see it being like Black Panther 1 and getting nominated for awards and everything.
Yeah, so we haven't done really an episode on the first Black Panther.
No, we talked about it like in passing when like I think our second episode
with
of all time.
Audrey. Yeah.
When we just talked about that whole MCU, which
Aubrey.
we were pretty ambitious back then.
Oh my, yeah, we're gonna do an hour episode and we're gonna talk about every single MC movie.
20 movies in the MCU.
But
a 20? That small?
Okay, so I'm going to be full-blown honest with you on this one.
Yes.
I went in with very low expectations for this movie.
Really?
Because I did not like the first one that much.
Okay.
The first one to me, it honestly, the first one to me showed how bad the studio execs can control a movie.
Okay.
Because let's talk about the last 20 minutes.
Well, yeah, that last act, that CG fight scene
So here's my thing. And I keep on saying it whenever we talk about how bad CGI is. I am not blaming the artists because CGI artists and studios have come out and said sometimes they only have like a week or two to work on a scene.
Yeah.
Right.
And they can't make it look how good it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So we're talking about a movie where it's the first titular African American character for Marvel.
Yeah, he's the guy. Yeah.
The guy, right? So you're going into that, especially during the time and era of when it came out, right? Like that was going to be like the start,
like right before the George Floyd incident.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So like we're talking about like this movie had weight to it and like knew it going in.
It's part of a cultural moment.
Yes.
And you had a beautifully cast movie. Like everyone's a good actor in the movie.
And that's it. So the acting's great. The storyline has some issues with it, but honestly, it's just like the CGI. It just didn't look like they gave it the time of day. And I'm sorry, they actually had them fighting for real in the final fight scene. Yeah. They didn't need to do as much CGI as it was.
Yeah, I think they kind of made the decision to lean into spectacle a little more.
Yeah.
As opposed to like, real stuff. But one thing I did like more in the first one, was the music. I remember watching the first one and I was like, dude, this soundtrack is like, dude, this is good. Like, this is good. Oh, I'm feeling that. The second one, it was good also, but I don't know. I didn't have those moments where I was like, oh, like when that song kicks in, you're like, oh, man.
The music was definitely better in the first one. I have to agree.
Yeah.
I liked the first one. I actually is one of my favorite Marvel films.
Okay.
But also, I have a little bit more reverence to it because all jokes aside, because I am black. Because in superhero movies before, minus Blade, and even then, I have my critiques about Blade.
We just did an episode on Blade.
We did. Oh yeah. We critiqued a lot about Blade.
Yeah.
There's a lot to love there, though, man. There's a lot
the rule of
love.
cool.
Yes.
God. But that, like, usually in superhero films, if a black person is in the movie, they're like the cool sidekick or like the sassy voice of reason, or if they are a villain, they kind of don't have a personality. And it was nice to have a movie where all those tropes were out the window.
Yes.
And that's what I went in hoping, because I'm not going to be, I am a comic book fan. Black Panther, the comics, they could be a little bit, in my opinion, they can be a little bit boring. So the movie had a lot riding on it.
Yeah.
And I think for what they did, it was good. It was good for what they did. But it was also the height of MCU using CGI for like everything.
Yeah.
And there was a lot, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of CGI in this one, but it felt a little bit more tactful. Like, tactical is the way I'm going to say. Like, the CGI was used
I can see that.
a little bit more to enhance a scene rather than it being the scene.
Right.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing of the first one, because I really liked the first one. I didn't like how the fight scene of the second one. I felt they were too rubbery. But other than that, like, I thought the first movie was great. My favorite part of it was like the world building, and I think that's probably the most important part of this particular movie, because this is that like Afro fantasy escapism, right?
Yes.
Like this is a black cast, and they are the leaders of Wakanda, which is a powerful black nation in Africa.
Right.
It is that that superhero fantasy that like, this is everything we want to see. Like, it just feels good to like see that. And then when Wakanda enters the UN stage, they're powerful. Like, it's not like they're secondary
or anything.
Yeah, not like only Western nations. So it's that fantasy element to it, which is really, really fun, And then when they build that out let's look at what the architecture would look like, what the technology would look like, what the culture and customs and costumes would look like, and all of that was just so cool to see. And they continue all of that in the second movie too, where it's just like, I just love being in Wakanda. I was like, this is fun, man.
It is fun. And it was very interesting, me knowing the comics, seeing people come dressed in like traditional quote unquote African wear, and being like, actually Wakanda's very futuristic looking.
Yeah.
So I like that they got that correct. I loved the women that carried the movie too.
Yes.
Okoye
well,
is
that's
amazing.
this second one. Yeah, this is all about the women.
But see, I feel like the first one was still carried by the women mostly, in my opinion. Chadwick Boseman, rest his soul.
Yeah.
Definitely held his own, but he's acting against Lupita Nyong'o, Angela Bassett, even Letitia Wright. All of them were so powerful
Very
in that
good.
first movie.
Yes.
And so to talk about that, like the opening scene was hard to watch.
Are we talking the second one?
In the second one.
Oh,
because like I really
gosh.
wanted like we're not doing an episode on the first Black Panther. We're doing it. This is mainly on
The
Wakanda
second one,
Forever, which I think is one of the most influential Marvel movies we've ever had. And we'll get into that. We'll unpack that a little bit later on. But like that opening scene when it's just Shuri
Yes.
And she's whispering, Bast, if you save my brother, I will never doubt your existence again.
Well, just like her laboratory, frantically trying to work out a scientific way to save her brother while checking on his heartbeat, and it's deteriorating, and people are rushing around. It was panic, it was heartbreak, and then it ends in silence.
Yes.
And then they show the Marvel theme in
utter
silence
Yeah.
and with just Chadwick Boseman.
Instant tear.
It was incredible. The opening scene of this movie is one of the best scenes of the MCU.
And do you know that's a oneer?
Yep.
The intro,
yeah.
up until the Marvel credits, is a oneer.
What do you mean?
It's
a one shot?
It's a one shot.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
It's a one shot. Or maybe until Angela Bassett comes in. I think that's when the
and
cut
she comes
happens.
in with the gut punch there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how many of us have been there with Shuri? Like,
Yeah.
I think that's the thing that hit hard is that instantly they hit you with, oh, you've all been there.
Yeah.
And
The helplessness of it. We all felt that. We all felt helpless with her. We're like, no. But yes, and that's, when you find out someone has passed away, that's what it feels like. You're just like, what? No, of course not. They're not dead.
And that opening line makes so much sense too, because in Shuri in the first movie, like what's his name, the leader of the Jabaris.
M'Baku.
M'Baku, M'Baku,
Oh,
thank
I
you.
loved him. Yeah.
He even calls her like makes fun of her for being a woman of science and not a believer in the faith in the first one, and she talks about that like quite regularly, that she's a scientist, not like she doesn't really take part in that. This movie definitely expands on it.
Yeah.
So to have her say that as the first line, and then even later in the movie when she's like, well, if the ancestors gifted me the ability to save my brother and I couldn't, what does this all mean? Like, why?
Yeah, when
Right.
she eventually eats the heart-shaped herb, and she even said like, "Oh, I didn't believe in the ancestral plane. I wasn't expecting to actually go there."
Yeah.
And because you see like Shuri is definitely the main character of the movie. She's the emotional core of the movie, and her journey from start to finish of going on this like religious transformation and emotional transformation and
Emotional maturity.
yes,
Yeah.
it's just it really is good. It's one of the best parts of this movie. Like they definitely established Shuri, because in the first movie she was a background character. I mean, she was not. I mean, maybe not background, but she was a secondary.
Yeah, she was a
character,
supporting character.
Yeah, even Okoye was more of a main character in the first one than Shuri was. But in this movie, they made Shuri the main character, and they fully established it. And I bought it, and I was like, "Yep, I like her now. She's awesome."
I liked her in the first one too. I could tell though in the first one she was meant to be an antithesis to her older brother, because she was kind of goofy. She was kind of the fun, and now she's like, well, wait a minute, I can't be goofy and fun anymore. I have to be serious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like my brother's death thrust me into a new position. Like, what do I do?
Venus, do me a favor. Can you move the microphone a little? Yeah. Like
Sorry.
yeah, there you go.
So they definitely made Shuri more of the main character in this one, and they needed to, because she's taken over the mantle, so
Yeah.
she had to.
and we didn't know. I don't think did they. I guess they kind of showed it in trailers and stuff. I mean, everyone knew. I knew. I mean, everyone knew who the Black Panther was.
everyone knew.
Well, because the first trailer came out and they never showed who it was going to be. They just kind of showed the claws. So there's a lot of speculation, and everyone's like, I was a believer that Killmonger was coming back.
Oh, that was one of the
And
rumors.
Killmonger was going to be the next Black Panther,
Or-
which is what happens in the comic books.
or his
one
wife,
of them,
Black Panther, or I don't know if they got married, but his girlfriend,
Nakia.
yeah,
Nakia.
I
But
thought,
she actually becomes Malice in
Malice,
the
yeah.
comics.
okay, I thought maybe she might become Black Panther too. But then, eventually Shuri's at the front of all the movie posters and stuff. Like,
So,
we
Here's
figured
my
it out.
theory, because we're not going to get into this super much, but Shuri, what's the actress's name?
Letitia Wright.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Letitia
Who
Wright.
was amazing. She
So
is
she's
great.
actually like
actress.
a crazy right wing, like anti-vaxxer conspiracy. Not right wing, but she's an anti-vaxxer conspiracist.
What? Really?
Yes.
And
yeah.
so my thing was Disney is like not that at all. So I was like, they're probably like going to find a way to get rid of her in this movie and bring Killmonger back. But everyone's like, well, this is going to be a very like female driven movie, so it can't be Killmonger. I'm like, you're not wrong, but I'm like, it makes sense because in the comics, Killmonger does come back after spending time in the ancestral plane, and he's still who he is, but he's now a good guy rather than the
bad guy.
bad guy.
Bad guy.
He was a villain. He was a villain.
I would say he was actually evil. He just was much more cutthroat.
but he was
So
relatable.
And
villain,
here's my thing to that leads into a great segment is I think legitimately Black Panther 1 and 2 have the best villains of the MCU.
Dude,
Yes,
Namor.
100
Holy
'Cause
crap, man.
Killmonger, I really like that they gave him the cameo in this, but I want Michael B. Jordan to come back as Killmonger.
Yeah.
Because I think Killmonger was a very underused villain, but one of the best MCU villains.
And
Yeah.
even his like cameo was so powerful
Yeah.
and well acted. I was like, oh,
It was a moment.
it was a moment.
And
Yeah.
it's people have asked me this question, and the best way I can sum up is the reason why I think he's one of the best MCU villains is because even though he dies, he accomplishes his goal and he changes not just T'Challa but Wakanda forever.
He
Wakanda.
oh hey.
See what I did there?
Yeah, I
Yes.
see
But
that.
like because he was the reason that Wakanda actually came out and joined the world.
Yeah,
Yep.
he changed
The
T'Challa's
way he-
view of things.
The way he wanted to do it was wrong, but the idea what happened, and even after his death, T'Challa's like, "Yeah, we actually do need to do this."
Yeah.
And then you have to realize that's when Civil War started, like
Yep.
because the next movie was Captain America: Civil War.
No, Civil War was before Black Panther.
Yeah, I was going to say it was before Black Panther, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was before Black Panther.
Was it?
Yeah,
Yeah, because he was
because his father dies.
Oh
in
shit,
Civil
that's
War.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then sorry. So Civil War, Black Panther, and
Then
now-
Infinity.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But Namor, oh my god.
Dude, what an amazing character. Like every moment that Namor's on the screen, like he was so threatening, he was so intimidating, he was so interesting, he was so compelling. All of the good words about him. Like, man, this is a great character.
And I have to give credit to the gentleman that played him. I can't pronounce his name correctly.
So I'm gonna attempt to. I think it's Tanakh
This-
Harada.
Hold on.
Tanakh Harada.
There we go.
Yeah.
What is it?
Tanakh Harata.
Okay.
Harata.
Harata.
I just want to.
He doesn't have a whole lot of
enjoy
acting
you
credits.
trying to
So
pronounce
in the
I
movie.
actually have never seen this guy before.
I didn't recognize him.
And I'm looking through his IMDb, and there's a reason why, because all the stuff he's in, a lot of it is
It's a lot of side work.
a lot of like Latino Hispanic movies.
Mhm.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So in Spanish. So I mean, hey, there's that. Oh wait, I have seen him in something. He was Inspector.
Oh.
He was an extra on an elevator.
What?
Legitimately, he's credited as Mexican man in Lyft.
That's,
Wow, what a.
I
what a-
also auditioned for that role. But
So sorry, it said Mexican man.
I know.
Yeah, not black woman.
they rewrote the part for him when he got it.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
But he was great as Namor. Even though I will be honest, reading the comics, I didn't read Namor growing up. My grandmother actually did, because what a lot of people don't know is that Namor is old school. Like,
Yeah, he's one of the first
I
comic
think
superheroes.
he's the first, isn't he?
I think he's the first major Marvel superhero.
Yeah, I think he's the very.
he's
first.
usually credited as the one.
Yeah,
But like, I always thought he would be like Asian in aesthetic.
He does kind of look like in the comics. They do kind of give him a little bit.
He's got like
Yeah.
kind of like pointy eyebrows, also.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but I do not care. He was beautifully written, beautifully acted. I love that they gave him all the Aztec everything, and
Yeah.
they built a second Wakanda and made me fall in love with
So
it.
let's talk about that, because what a lot of people probably don't know if they're going to see the movie is in the comics, Namor was the king of Atlantis.
Yep.
And Atlantis was just like a regular Atlantis, like just like I mean, him and Aquaman are just it's just the same.
He's
kind of
older than
thing.
Aquaman. So
He was
the
before
first
Aquaman.
Marvel superhero is the Human Torch.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Yeah, Namor came out in 1939. Aquaman, it was 41.
Okay, but the point is like it was just that I'm the king of Atlantis under the water type deal, and so for this movie they changed it to was it Talokan?
Telecom.
And they gave it that Maya aesthetic and Maya culture, and that creative decision, I think was
amazing.
brilliant
And
because
smart.
it was so cool, just so cool. Everything about the aesthetic, like the way the visuals of how it looked was so cool. Like the history, the story behind it.
It made you want to live underwater.
Oh my god, yes it did. So I scuba dive and like all this stuff. So it's like I'm already feel like I'm part of the sea. It's one of the reasons why I have so many pirate tattoos.
Uh-huh.
And like watching that, I was like, this is so fucking cool. And here's my thing. So they completely, like Brandon was saying, changed up Namor.
Yep.
Kukulkan. A Kukulkan.
Okay,
They changed
so
him up completely.
this
But the
is-
way they
this is-
did it
okay, I'm sorry,
was
go ahead.
was amazing, because like when they brought in that Maya aspect to it,
The Aztec and
Aztec,
and the Spaniards invasion and stuff like
and
that.
the way they connected that with his name, why he became Namor.
Namor.
Yeah, man without love. You are a man without
Spanish,
love. Yeah, Namor.
That's
and then
really cool.
they're like, well, they have both taken our people and enslaved them for our resources. I was like, oh my God, there's the fucking connection.
Yep.
And I was like, this is a great way to change up a character's backstory and build up an entire new thing and make it work. It did not feel force fed or like that.
It didn't. No.
That they were like, oh well, we have to do this because we really don't have like any type of like Spanish or like Native American like. It's like no, this is the way you do it. It
felt
made
natural.
sense and natural because it made it where it's like they're two different groups of people like identity wise, like completely like different styles. But okay, vibranium might connect them. And that's like how the initial bridge is
which
started.
Is a cool idea also.
Which is a great way. But it's not about the vibranium, right? Like that's where that's the MacGuffin that starts the story.
Yeah, right.
But it isn't the reason why they feel so connected. It's because of the past and colonizers.
Colonizers. And by the way, good use of the word MacGuffin. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Well, like what you said too, Venus, is essentially they created a second Wakanda. That's what Talokan is. Yeah. And it's the same thing. It like what you were saying, Owen. And they created it like, so now you have two essentially like powerful secret nations with these tragic backgrounds, tragic history, and it makes you care about both of them. And then when those two nations go to war, you're like, man, I don't know who to root for. I don't want them to. Hey, can we be friends?
Hurt each other.
Yeah, you don't want them to hurt each other. Yeah,
I mean, like I'm kind of rooting for Wakanda because I don't want Ironheart to die, but I mean, like at the same time, like I get it.
Yeah. I have to give another extra little credit to the Tanakh because they gave him a month to prepare for that role.
Wait, seriously?
Just a month.
Wow.
Yeah, and and one of the comic book writers made that tactless, tasteless photo of him shirtless being like,
I saw that on Twitter.
This is how Namor's supposed to be. He's supposed to be ripped. And, Tanakh, I mean, he's in good shape.
Yeah, but he definitely has a little bit more of
meat.
He's not Henry Cavill.
Yeah, and I like that. He definitely kind of has that, like the depiction of what we see of like the Aztecian Maya culture. When you see them drawn, like they have guts. They're bigger people.
Yeah, well, he doesn't have that Thor body where it's like you're a bodybuilder who you can tell like you're dehydrated, so we can see every muscle in your body. He's not built like that, and that's okay. Yeah. That's okay. It's okay to have both. But I like Thor looks awesome, but and Tanakh, they look different. So,
his eyes. The way that he fucking stares sometimes, like when he finally has the conversation with Angela Bassett, with Ramonda, after she blows the horn, and like the Queen Ramonda, and they're talking to one another, and then she like kind of threatens him, and he in an instant goes from like the kind of just like nice, and he just like looks up, and it's immediately like this evil, like I will fucking kill you. I was
threatening,
like,
menacing.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
great.
And so that scene too, where they invade Wakanda and they attack, and I guess it's almost like they don't invade; they just kind of attack and leave.
They drown it,
and it was that scene pisses you off, right? Because we've seen Wakanda as this paradise. It's African Camelot, right?
Yep.
And it's
African Camelot. That's a whole different conversation.
But it makes you love it, and you're like, this is perfect, and pristine, and beautiful, and wonderful. Don't touch it. And they come in and they fuck everything up, and you're like, dude, fuck you, man. Like, you just got me to care about you, and I relate to you, but now I really want you to die. But then they do it again, where it's like, but I care about you again. Like the emotions that it makes you feel for the characters was really good.
And that's why, like, I keep saying this, where it's like with both Killmonger and Namor now, it's each one you can kind of side with.
Oh, absolutely.
When you're like, okay, let's go over all three Iron Man bad guys.
Oh God,
Jebediah,
the Stone, the first one,
the Jebediah,
the Jeff Bridges,
basically,
Whiplash.
He's just a corporate asshole.
Yeah, Whiplash.
Whiplash was just a Russian asshole,
and then
no character whatsoever.
Yeah,
so,
and then we don't need to talk about the third movie because that doesn't exist.
It's
another corporate asshole.
Yeah. Along with Thor 2, that one lives not rent free. Actually, lives very expensively in my mind.
But like, other than that, like, you know, obviously we could talk about like Captain America: Winter Soldier, but Bucky wasn't really the bad guy in that one.
No,
like,
he wasn't.
Yeah, it was
antagonist.
Yeah, but his Hydra was the bad guy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's like if
It
you
was
think of
also
all the
Black
Marvel
Widow's wig,
villains,
so
yeah.
I'm sorry, that wig was horrendous.
You didn't think that was really her hair?
If it was, Scarlett Johansson needs a new stylist. But anyway,
I love how that's
I
your
feel like
observation. I
you're
didn't even
saying
notice that.
things angrily, but I feel like there's like a hint of jealousy.
no.
No.
But I'm jealous of Angela Bassett's clothing. in
Oh
Black
my
Panther
god,
2.
this we can get
Yes.
straight into that because
Yes.
the fucking costume and set design for
Yes.
this movie was amazing.
Absolutely incredible, and the way that they're able to weave like accurate like clothing from like different African cultures and make it look as if it were futuristic and stuff.
Futuristic, yes.
And it's just like, God, everyone looks so beautiful. She looks so royal. She looks so queenly. She looked, you know, and M'Baku, man, that dude looked huge,
Dude,
man.
you know, honestly, like, because you have Lupita and Winston Duke, right?
Yeah.
That plays Nakia and M'Baku.
There's a
and
big size difference there.
Big
Yes.
size different, but they're also in Us.
They're in Us.
And like,
yeah.
I was like, oh shit, yeah, that's right. Like, they're in Us too. And I was like, oh, dude, it was so good to see
Wait,
them. But
Wait, Lupita is? Oh, that's,
Yeah, she's the mom.
she's the mom.
Oh, that's right.
And like completely different characters.
I was thinking
Yep.
Letitia Wright. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a different. Yeah.
No.
Oh man.
Man, there was a scene when she's going down to now the name of the city's leaving me. Namor City. Talakon, thank you. I've said it like 18 times in this podcast.
Talakon.
Well, to be fair, these are a lot of words in this movie that like typical Americans aren't used to saying. You know what I mean?
In Talakon, where after she gets rescued, Namor's like, "What happened?" And there's just one of the Namorian people. I forgot the right term. The
Talakon people are. I don't know what
the
they would be
Talanesians.
called.
One
I
of
don't know.
Namor's peeps.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she's wearing this like white dress that becomes like red halfway up. And I'm like, that is one of the most beautiful colors of red that I've ever seen.
Yes.
I mean,
And even in the set design of the cave that they were in is based off real
beautiful.
caves.
all that Mayan, like all the texture and design and artwork that they have just everywhere in the background is so incredible. The detail, you can just imagine a group of artists and builders and creators who have just gone. They've put such painstaking love into every inch of this design in this movie.
That's what I was saying is with this is like those scenes, you could tell there's that's a real set.
Yes.
There's a lot of CGI to make the set work.
The
Yeah.
cave
But it's a
seemed
real set.
Yeah,
the cave seemed definitely real.
Yeah.
And I love that the attention to detail, even if you look, and I didn't notice this, if you take the first movie and you look at the Dora Mirage,
Oh yeah.
their armor looks much more pristine and sharp and precise. Like,
Is that the
in
Royal Guard, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The all-female Royal Guard.
Yeah.
Yep. Wakanda Forever. I love them bitches. Anyway, so,
Mirage.
yes. And, you know, then you had Angela Bassett, who is already like a royalty. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
And then you make
she
her look
exudes
even
dignity.
more royalty.
Oh my
Yes,
God.
yes.
When she first walks into the courtroom scene at the UN,
Oh wow.
I'm like, Venus, how old do you say she is?
She is 62.
62, and she is ripped. Like
Yes.
she is toned.
Yeah.
I was like, my God. And it's not even that like she was just wearing the sleeveless dress, just the way she walked and acted and her presence. I'm like, that's a motherfucking queen.
Yes.
Right there.
She
That
does.
is a bad
she just
bitch.
Yeah.
exudes it, and she is a walking demonstration of the fact that black don't crack. I mean,
But when it does,
in your 60s and you look like that, it's like, gosh,
She
man.
can still rock a bikini, just so everyone knows. Banter Such. She can still rock a bikini.
I'm okay with that.
So
Her opening monologue is probably my favorite line of the entire film.
yes, that is the one in that scene in the UN.
In
Yeah.
the UN. She basically says, so you want to come for Wakanda, eh? And
Yeah.
then she mic drops the fuck out of all them bitches.
And that okay, honestly, so one of my favorite things about this entire movie was that opening scene on the boat.
Oh, yes.
That was
Not the one
disturbing.
Yeah, I mean, not the one where you see that it was the French that were invaded the boat, but the
Telecons.
the Telecons when they do it, because when they come up from the water and they just start singing
That siren song.
the siren song.
Oh.
Dude, exactly. So I was watching it with Puck and I'm like grabbing onto him. I'm like, dude, like this is cool because they're basing like mythological creatures
Yeah.
of the
them.
real world. It's like, this is it.
Like mermaids or
yeah,
something.
the
Yeah,
mermaids,
yeah.
the sirens. This was it. It's like, oh, people would like listen to their song and be lullabied into death.
Well, you just imagine this is where old sailor stories come from.
Yes.
Yep.
You know,
Because they were also near the Caribbean.
Yes.
Like that was in the Caribbean. It's like where it's kind of takes place.
all this
It's-
crazy, lore and stuff coming
Yeah.
out.
So
ancient old
it wasn't
mythology.
mermaids. It was the Telecons.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah, but that's cool. And
That's
and
amazing.
The way that they just like slowly kind of pop their heads out of the water, and it's not like a dramatic splash. I'm here. It's like all of a sudden you look down and there's 30 of them looking
Yeah.
back at you and you just see them in silhouette, and it's like, oh, this is creepy, man. Like,
Even the song got more and more eerie the longer it went
Yeah.
on. At first, even I was like, "Oh, this is really. Oh no, this is getting kind of dark."
Yeah.
So I thought it was supposed. I originally thought I forgot the terminology, but I thought it was score. So
Oh, yeah.
score is something that is meant for just the audience.
yeah.
But then it ended up being like, no, this is what the characters are actually hearing. I was like, oh my god, this is so dope.
Yeah,
I could fall asleep to
I
that
agree
every
with
night.
you, and because it
So you're
shifts
doom.
perspective.
You're doom, Owen.
Oh please, I am so down. Telecons, if I'm gonna get on a boat in the Caribbean, come find me, lullaby me into my death, and I will hug you and embrace death.
Well, I
so fast.
I love it.
I couldn't help to, but I mean, you can't help but compare this to Aquaman, obviously, because you know
Oh, but
Namor
this
and
blows
Aquaman are.
Aquaman out of the water.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's so different, and I know Owen like hates Aquaman. I really enjoyed the movie, but this the way
Do you also like taking a shit in your bed?
Okay, Aquaman wasn't terrible. I give it like an 8 out of 10.
yeah, it's
What?
it's a
Yeah.
different kind. of movie.
Aquaman is like a 2 out of 50.
Oh, jeez.
Listen, you didn't like Nicole Kidman's stunt double doing her fight choreography.
About to
Come
say,
on now.
man. Yeah.
No.
What's his name? Mara? And, yeah.
No.
But in that one, it's this bright, 80s cartoon Atlantis, right?
And 90% of it doesn't take place in the ocean.
Yeah, but
They
that's
go to a
Aquaman, though.
desert.
That's- Anyway, the point is,
He jumps out of a plane
Into the
and
desert.
into the sand dunes of the Sahara Desert. Like, whatever.
that's the point. Is you put him in a situation that's it's a fish out of water.
At least his armor looked cool.
his armor looked
Yeah,
amazing.
actually, I did enjoy it.
But in this one, like Telecon, it's not that brightly lit, colorful city. It is this like thriving society, but it's still at the bottom of the ocean. There's a lot of darkness. There's a lot of creepy, scary. We're in the ocean. Like people would be in diving suits and going down, and all they have is their headlamps. Like there's a lot of that. Like what do you call it? That phobia of the water. That the phobia of the ocean or something like it.
Aquaphobia?
Yes,
Sorry.
or not like a.
no, it's not. It's its own thing.
Yeah, it's like a fear of the sea. Or something.
Thalassophobia.
Yeah, thalassophobia, and it evokes that into you as you're watching it. It really does make it creepy. Like this is a place we're not supposed to
So
be.
like I said, I've scuba dived. So I actually, funny enough, I'll fucking flex right now.
Okay, go
ahead.
I
Go
have
ahead.
enough dives under my belt that if I wanted to, I could be considered a master diver, like licensed.
Wait,
master
really?
diver,
I
yeah.
love that.
Yeah, I
This
have
is-
over 250 dives.
Wow, this is all in California, I guess.
I mean, this is before. I mean, I haven't scuba dived in 8 or 9 years. I would
Yeah.
want to say.
Teach
So
a
this
class.
was a lot of my like teens and early 20s.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
And so,
Like
So it
in
was
the
only
ocean?
5 years ago. Gotcha.
yeah, I wish it was only 5 years ago. Oh my gosh.
like open ocean.
Yeah. I've done Cozumel, Belize, which is funny enough where like kind of close to where
Yeah,
Tehuacan is would be.
I did some
Tehuacan.
snorkeling.
Yeah.
off of Cancun.
But so
I dove in the deep
have,
end of a kid pool once.
same thing. I'm just
Same
gonna
thing.
shut up. That's the same thing. Tell us about your experience diving into a kiddie pool.
Lots of
first.
pee.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of pee.
So I have done dives where I've almost gone over 100 feet.
which is very deep for a dive.
So that's a third of a football field, right?
Yeah.
Like you have to think about that. You're going that deep. And I can tell you the pressure does change. You do start to feel the weight of the water. I have done night dives where if you turn your flashlight off, you cannot see the hand in front of your face.
That's
A flashlight, legitimately, like you have to get one that it's not a concentrated beam. You want to get one that's kind of like widespread.
Yeah.
And I'm not kidding you. There is no bleed from light. You know, like if you have a candle, like it's dimmer as it
Yeah.
goes. You only have where that light goes. There's no bleed over. Like the moment that the light cannot.
This is deeply unsettling to
It
hear.
is. So
This is kinda
that
scary.
scene, it is terrifying, but I'm going to tell you it's one of the most cathartic experiences because it is that terrifying. Like it takes you because it's humans on land.
Yeah.
We're so used to being top dog on top of the food chain,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like we have a gun.
In
like,
control
yeah.
of your environment.
No, with once you get underwater, there's that. So when they have the people, oh God, I keep on forgetting their
The
names.
Talikons.
Talikon, thank you.
There you go.
Where it's like, oh yeah, like we're super strong, we're fast, we're durable. I'm like, it makes sense because if they're living hundreds, if not thousands of feet below the sea level,
Yeah.
like they have to be able to withstand the pressure of the water,
Mhm.
the hypothermia. And like the darkness to be able to see at night.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
and they talk about that too. I'm like, dude, this is, as someone that's like geeking out about like real life stuff, I'm like, this is so cool that they're bringing this into it.
So I didn't notice this myself. My daughter mentioned this, and I totally missed. But she noticed that when the people were out of the water,
they were blue.
they were
They're
blue.
blue.
Mhm.
But then when they were in the water, they were like flesh tone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
And I did notice it, and I thought that was really neat because it shows that how for them it's the opposite. Like they turn this unnatural color when they're in their unnatural surrounding because
Yeah.
they're
Mhm.
people of the sea. They need to be in the water, and
Yeah.
that was a cool way of showing that. So, but
So-
this
yeah.
movie is full of cool ways of showing
that,
things.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, before we get into trivia, I really want to talk about probably one of the best Dragon Ball Z fight scenes in this that ever exists.
Are talking about Ironheart now?
No, I'm talking about the beach fight scene. Felt like I was watching a Dragon Ball Z episode.
Oh yeah, between Letitia Wright and Tanakh.
It was surprisingly brutal.
It was
Was.
raw and intense and brutal, and I loved it.
Yeah,
I did like that she wasn't able to go toe to toe with him because it showed, okay, yes, she just got these powers, but she's not instantly a martial artist.
Yeah.
If anyone knows any of the history, like I do, of Black Panther, he knows like
Go off.
he knows like 5 to 10 different martial arts,
Oh,
and he learned that before he took the heart shader.
yeah.
She was a scientist. So she had a
Yeah.
little bit of battle training, I'm assuming, because, everyone in Wakanda kind of does. Even their mom, she would have been a Dora before she would have even been queen.
Queen, yeah. Well, they even talk about it too, because T'Challa was almost as smart as Shuri. He was a scientist, but instead decided to go towards the martial arts side,
Hmm.
and instead of pursuing science, where it's the opposite with Shuri.
And everything about T'Challa in this movie. So obviously that was hanging over this movie from day one is Chadwick Boseman's death. And everyone's like, well, what are you going to do, Marvel? What are you going to do? And then they came out early on and said, we're not going to CGI, because we thought that. We're
Yeah.
like, are you going to get another actor and like CGI Chadwick Boseman's face on him?
please no.
Like, because this is what they were doing in Star Wars and all this other stuff.
Fast and Furious.
Yes. And
Oh,
so
God.
Marvel said, we're not going to do that. Black Panther will be a different actor. And the way that they handled that in this movie was, T'Challa died of an
Yeah.
illness, of an undisclosed illness. And that event was lingering over the entire movie. That you felt the death of T'Challa throughout the whole. I mean, not only the opening scene, but just throughout. Like, we're a people without our king. We're a people who are mourning. Like, that was a big part of Shuri's journey. It's a big part of the political situation. Is like, oh, we don't have Black Panther, so we're defenseless now. Like,
Yeah.
things like that. The way that they handled that, like, and even the funeral scene where they showed this beautiful royal funeral. Everything about that was like, oh. And there was one scene where they just like it just cut to, like, they were going through the city and it cut to this big mural of T'Challa's face
Mhm.
with some like Wakandan writing around it, and it just, you glance at it and it was so sad, man. It's almost like all of us were feeling that at the same time. It's like the way they did that was just so well done in this movie.
Everything they did was very beautifully done. However, if we can get to a few gripes that I
I would
have
like
Yeah,
to also.
yeah.
There were some things I didn't like. Yeah.
before we get to trivia, I did not enjoy Ironheart. I did enjoy Ironheart.
Yeah.
I felt like she was shoehorned in.
I agree. I totally agree.
So here's my thing with that, and I do agree with it. They could have not have had Ironheart in the movie,
yeah,
at all.
completely.
and I don't think it would have changed the movie.
Well, the fact that she's a 19-year-old kid who made an Iron Man suit with like straight up Stark tech, it's just like, like you just you have an Iron Man suit in your garage. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? That you
Yeah.
built from scratch. It's like, come on, man. Like, it's not supposed to be that easy.
Yeah,
I get that she's brilliant, but come
Yeah,
on, you know?
it just felt so. When you said shoehorned in,
Shoehorned completely.
yeah, it didn't feel like it was necessary.
Yeah, not at all. Not to the
And
whole
like I
story.
said, you could like the entire movie. It could have just been an unnamed scientist,
Well,
and it would have been the same.
So
the
they
thing
didn't
is-
even need the scientists. They could have just said, "Oh, humans have found vibranium. You need to side with us before this gets bad." And they could have left it.
Well, they did. Well, the thing is, you say shoehorn, and they did shoehorn her into this movie because she's starring in a Disney Plus show, and it's
Armor Wars
yeah, the
and
Armor Wars show.
Ironheart.
And so they literally, this is one of those examples of Marvel literally just like, oh, we're introducing our thing for another show. Like she didn't have anything to do. I mean, she did have to do with the movie, but it really was completely unnecessary. It was only to promote her upcoming Disney Plus show.
Yes.
And as I'm watching it, you can tell, and like, I don't, and the fact,
I didn't care about her.
yeah.
The only thing that she brought that was good was it was finally a character that didn't know T'Challa and didn't care.
Yeah.
And I say that in a
Well, she was
in the right way.
American.
Yeah,
She's
she-
not
so,
Wakanda.
So
Yeah.
it gave Shuri a friend who wasn't just going to be like, well, how are you holding up? Are you okay? I know you just lost your brother. It was more like, hey, like I'm just trying to survive, and like we're kind of vibing, so that's cool. We're friends now.
Very much so.
And that was the only like real thing that was needed a part of the story.
Yeah, I think it could have easily have been, if you're going to have that character in the movie, have it to where she doesn't make a suit until the very end.
Yeah.
And maybe because she goes to Wakanda and experiences all this vast technology, then that gives her the idea to make something herself. And at the end of the movie, she's just like, yeah, I'm going to go home and make something myself. And that's how it ends.
Yep.
That's all it would have
And it
needed.
kind of just swept her backstory under the rug. Oh, my dad was a mechanic.
and
Is
she
anything
was
else?
MIT.
Yep. And I go to MIT. Apparently, if you go to MIT, you're like super smart and can create Iron Man suits.
Yeah.
So-
Every single person that goes to MIT does that. Don't you know?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I just thought
That's
they were
why
all
I
played
go
by
there.
Zendaya.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I just God damn it. All right. What was one of the other gripes?
Actually, my main gripe was that I had another one.
While you're thinking of that, I have
Oh.
one. Oh, go ahead. If you
Val and her whole thing for being there. It was kind of like, oh, we have Ross. We got to give him something to do.
Oh, yeah.
Let's bring in Valentina now. And I'm like,
Who was that? Oh,
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Oh, the
Yeah.
Americans.
yeah,
Yeah.
because you know she's putting together the Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
So it's just like I felt like that was them trying to shoehorn the Thunderbolts in it somehow.
Did you hear that they recast Ross Thunderbolt?
Yes, because
What?
the actor died.
The actor died. The original Ross Thunderbolt.
Yeah, they cast Harrison Ford
Really?
Mhm.
as
Is it the new one?
General Ross. Yeah,
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
yeah, which I think is cool. You know,
Yeah.
I think that'll be fun.
I mean, it's Harrison Ford, so
Yeah.
He probably still looks great in a bikini.
he probably does. I'm sure you look great in a
It
bikini,
doesn't
too,
rhyme.
Owen.
White don't crack. It doesn't rhyme. It doesn't.
Good white licks right. Hey.
Wow.
Sorry, that's what I say. But I really that was my only real gripes with the movie. Also, what could have done better was how Nakia got into Telecon. She just happens to meet this one random lady
Yeah.
in the middle of a village that just
Yeah.
happens to know everything about Namor.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there was my big complaint with this one is Shuri wasn't Black Panther enough in the movie for me. I get like I wanted a struggle for her to get there,
Yeah.
mhm.
but I wanted her to get there maybe a little bit sooner.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
Yeah.
a good 20 minutes sooner would have been
Yeah,
helpful.
and having some more like, well, now what is the next steps for her, right? Because it's like she's Black Panther now, and her mom just died. So is she supposed to be queen? So is she going to be queen and Black Panther?
That's part of what my issue was. Is there's a lot going on in this movie. It's because, like you said, with M'Baku coming in at the end and just very quickly saying, "Oh, Shuri's not here, so I'm gonna be."
Well,
king,"
that's a whole what's it? Not a foreshadowing. It's a throwback to a callback to the first movie because
they
he
do.
does that with Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa in the first movie,
yeah.
where he challenges her as well when like after Queen Ramonda dies and he comes up and like she's like, oh, like you're interested in that woman of science who doesn't honor our ancestors, which is something that he said to her in the first movie as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Correct.
So there's a lot of stuff like that in it, which makes sense. But it's just like, man, I'm
But
like,
it's just a lot
there-
going on. There's a lot.
They set the movie up where it was going to be a little bit more political, not
Yeah.
like political as in like trying like today, but it was just going to be about politics.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, okay,
Or
the
political
black-
injury, like nation versus nation. Yeah,
polit-
yeah.
the better way to put it. And
Yeah.
it just felt like they started it with that, and then just it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah. My thing was Okoye. Well, is that how you? I don't know.
Okoye.
Okoye.
So they gave her this blue Power Ranger suit at the end.
It looks like Predator to me.
Yeah, I really didn't like the look of that suit. I thought it looked really silly, and it flies and all this other
What do
stuff.
they call it? Midnight
The Midnight Angel.
Hills. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, I just think all of that thing was so unnecessary, especially because Okoye in that red royal like guardian suit that she already wears with that spear, she was already so cool, like perfectly cool. Like leave her alone. Like don't put her in a new suit. Don't give her like superpowers with an Iron Man
This is what the
suit.
Midnight Angels look like in the comics.
Yeah,
Way different and way
Yeah.
better.
but I can see it. I can see it.
I can
the
see where they're
illusion.
going with it, but you're right. Like the long like tendrils of hair.
I just don't
Yeah.
need that. Like she was
Listen.
already so cool with that red like suit that she wears and the
And her
spear. Like, she
spear.
was
Yeah.
already like she has her aesthetic. It'd be like changing like Batman to like a green suit or something. You know, it's like no, he already looks cool. Leave him alone. You know.
Yeah, it was very like Predator looking, and I was just like, this did not translate from comics to movie very
Yeah.
well.
It would just seem like oh here's an Iron Man suit.
Yeah.
And she's like oh okay, and it's like well I mean like
I will still say it as we transition to trivia here soon.
Yay.
I loved this movie. One of
was
the
a
reasons
blast,
why
yeah.
I absolutely love this movie, and I'm going to contradict myself, and I do it all the time because I'm a human being, and I have no issue with that. Is in the Thor: Love and Thunder movie, I was like, I enjoyed it because there was a lot of. It was comedy based.
I
Yes,
love
it was
that.
completely
comedy
comedy.
based.
I love those
loved
damn
it.
goats.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought, and I said it in the Thor episode that like we had a lot of serious stuff, so it was good to have a comedy.
Yeah.
But man, I loved that this movie broke the fucking mold for Marvel.
Yes.
It had weight. It had what it needed to, and
It's
they didn't.
not a comedy.
They did not break
It was not formula.
intense movie moments of the movie with comedy, which is what Marvel has done so much.
Yeah, they just let it sit and you feel it.
Marvel films have gotten very formulaic, and this one felt separate from that. And I'm like, it was a breath of fresh air, 100%.
Can you imagine what this would have been if Chadwick Boseman hadn't died? Because I feel like his death forced Marvel to do something outside the box.
This sounds bad, but the directors talked quite
Ryan
openly about
Coogler.
the script, what it would have been like if he would have lived. And honestly, this one was better.
yeah,
I think so too.
It was
And I mean,
honestly
it's
better.
Yeah, not to say thank you.
yeah, not
Chadwick
at all.
Boseman
No,
for
not
dying.
at all. No.
yeah,
but-
thank you.
But just the fact that that tragic real life situation forced them to do something outside of their formula,
Yeah.
and that produced better art.
Yeah.
You know, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, it was fun. It honored Chadwick Boseman. It honored T'Challa and the Black Panther.
Mhm.
And it introduced Namor, who was an incredible new character. I definitely want to see more of him. Overall, I mean, it's not perfect. It had its flaws. It had its things. It was like, this is kind of dumb. But overall, it was just good, man.
Yeah.
It was just
good.
a great movie.
Yeah.
9
Yeah.
out of 10. I'll see it again in the theaters before.
I
they
saw it
move
twice. I saw it once regular, once in IMAX. I'll give it 8.3.
8.3.
Out of 10. So I do a 5 scale. I
Oh
never do a
yeah,
10-point
five scale.
I gave it, I believe, a 4. 4 stars out of 5.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I'm a 4.1, 4.2.
Yeah, which is
yeah.
I would give it
for me.
4.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, heck yeah, man.
Honestly, just take out Riri Williams and slow down the end a little bit. You have a damn near perfect movie.
Ooh.
I'm right there with you.
It's trivia time.
Don't you say it. Don't you dare get on that microphone
What
and say,
the F is this?
well,
wheel?
it's a bad day, everybody, because Owen lost and has to spin the wheel of stupid shit. No,
What
it's a
is
great
this
day.
wheel?
It's a great
Oh
day.
yeah, so Venus, it's been a while since you've been on.
It's been a while. Yeah.
been a minute.
while since I could spin this wheel of shit.
Okay, what's going on with this?
So we
wheel?
have punishments now if you lose trivia.
Oh, I love
We're
it.
highly motivated to compete.
And last week, I feel like Brando had a little bit of an edge because he's married with kids, so he has a family.
Yeah.
And last week's episode was all about family.
All about family.
I don't have friends. I got family.
Listen, I hate those movies. I'm glad you didn't even bother to ask me to be on them.
No, we had Nick Perrin from Tabletop on, and it was fucking hilarious. It's
incredible. He was
a great
incredible.
episode.
And we did an episode with him that's coming out in a few weeks.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So
But I hate
it's a
Fast and
D&D
Furious.
podcast that he's on.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
I
it's like a D&D help podcast. So it's not an actual play podcast.
They talk
It's-
about it.
They like learn to be like a better player in Dungeon Master.
Okay.
I'm trying to stall so I don't have to spin.
No,
the
you're
wheel.
gonna- you're
Spin the
spin
fucking wheel.
All
Let's
right,
go
are we
ahead.
recording?
Yeah, go.
All right.
What is that?
I gotta wear a chicken head.
Chicken head.
Chicken head. Hey, Brando, you want to
right.
grab the? I think it's up there.
No, it's right here.
Oh, it's right there. Okay. There we
You have to
go.
wear a chicken head while
Yep.
you do this.
Yeah, which is great for a podcast, doing something.
That people can't see.
Yeah. Well, if you check out the Instagram,
They love our visual gags
Yeah.
here on the podcast.
I'm gonna wear it like this so I can still see and talk.
Does that make you a BWC right now?
Get out? Get out!
Get out!
So
right
definitely
now.
everyone needs to check out our Instagram
Yeah.
to see
Banter
the
and Such
video
pod.
that I just took. So
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
we do have trivia though.
Yeah.
We have some for today.
Yes, we
Venus,
do.
You have brought
Questions.
some good stuff. I hear.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully not deep dives because I always do bad at this.
Oh,
So Venus did text me. She goes, "How hard should I do? Like a lot of comic stuff?" And I was like, "I love you for asking this question, and normally I say yes, but Brando doesn't really read a lot of comics, so don't do questions
I-
based
I
off
actually
comics."
Do read a lot of comics, just not Marvel comics, and I don't dislike Marvel comics.
I mean,
just,
DC's just better.
Yeah, it's my
that's
favorite.
100% wrong, but okay.
Wow. I mean, it's okay for you to be wrong,
We can debate this later.
Batman. You're a big fan of Batman.
I love Batman.
but we talked about in the Batman episode. Venus likes Batman because of the bad guys. It's
I do.
It's the rogue gallery.
That's true. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
best road gallery
Ever. All right, go ahead. Hit us with question number 1.
Question number 1. Can either of you name Namor's 2 closest compatriots in the movie?
Oh, okay. Like there's the Hammerhead guy,
Mm-hmm.
and
There's the
then
guy that fought Okoye, and then there was the girl.
the lady with the feather headdress.
Yes.
Yes.
Can you name either one of them?
I think I can name one of them.
Okay.
Okay.
Didn't we talk about one earlier? Right?
Kind of.
Tanakh.
No, Tanakh was the actor that played Namor.
Damn it.
Okay, so his wife is named Namora, and that's the headdress lady.
woman. Yeah.
Mhm.
I want to say the dude warrior is what they just kept calling each other in it is Atuka?
Close. Atuma.
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 Okay.
Nice.
All right.
But yeah, you got Namora correct.
Okay, so that was at 1 point each.
Sure.
Well, you get one of those. You didn't say a Tuma. So
I just got 1 point for Namora.
okay, yeah.
Namora.
Yeah,
There we
Namora.
go.
I'll give you that one.
Okay. We talked a lot about Namor. What did his people call him, though?
Mm.
And what did it stand for in translation?
Mhm.
I think I know. Do
Okay,
you know?
I know this one, yeah.
Okay, it's the coolest word that any human has ever invented.
You have to say it like M'Baku though.
Kulkulkan.
A kukulkan.
Kulkulkan.
Do you know what it means though?
It's the name of a god. It's an ancient Mayan god.
Mhm.
It's the god of the wind and sea or something, or
It's the wind or the feathered serpent.
Yes.
the feathered serpent. Okay.
Which in just a little trivia there, in Mayan cultures, that god swims around the equator,
Yeah.
and that's what causes earthquakes.
Oh wow.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I've been to Chichen Itza, which is one of the cities that I think they showed in the movie, but I think Kukulkan is like etched into the
Yeah,
that big
Kukulkan
step
is
pyramid.
the
yeah, as a
like
serpent.
creation deity
Yeah,
for them.
so cool.
Yeah.
Such a cool. So I get the Kukulkan name.
Well, we
I
just got
that.
one. We both got 1 point.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
So we got 1-1 so far.
So it's 2-1.
2-1.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I can get. Do you want? Should I get another point for knowing the wind serpent?
That's up to y'all. Y'all run this podcast.
no, hey,
I
no,
know.
you're the guest. You tell
I
us.
say no.
I say 1-1. 1-1.
Okay, all right. So it's 2-1 right now.
I said 1-1.
Yeah, but I got the first question right. He got the first question wrong.
He got the second one right.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
2-1.
I knew.
Oh,
I
that's
knew
fair.
one of the.
2-1.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
fair.
I thought you said knowing each one of the, like Atuma and Nemoro each was a point.
I didn't quite mean that.
But you didn't know Atuma though.
Atuka.
Atuka. That was close. But, all right.
So is it, okay, so it's 1-1. All right, I'll fuck myself. All right.
No, it's 2-1 because you knew the answer.
Yeah, you know what? I'll give it to you.
2-1.
I'll go easy on you.
Okay, this one's an easy one because we literally just said it. What was the name of the suit Shiri made for Okoye?
Oh
I
yeah,
fucking forgot. You remember it?
I do. Yeah.
Okay, so let me try to guess.
Okay.
It was like the Midnight Echo,
Midnight Angels.
Midnight Angels.
Yep.
Yeah.
Has to go to Owen.
Do I get a point for that one? I'm a little confused.
Yes, you get a
I'm a
point
little
for that
confused
one.
with how the
Midnight
points are
and
going.
Angels are two different points.
I don't know. Are you wearing pants? Yeah, you get a point for it.
I'll take it.
Okay. Last two. I made these last two especially difficult. Because that's what I do.
Okay.
Don't worry, it's not behind the scenes trivia like I did with Batman.
Oh god, yeah.
So, this is a twofer, kinda. This is about both films. The last two are about both films. How many people were shown as Black Panthers between both films?
Okay.
Okay, wait. So,
Okay. Sorry, there was a lot of dead air there. We were
Yeah.
No, sorry, go ahead.
dead air. Venus, sing a song for us.
I think I know.
You think you know?
Yeah, I think I know. Between the Black Panther movies.
Yeah, so in Black Panther 1 and 2, how many people were shown in their version of the Black Panther?
Okay. I think I know.
All right, I think I got this one too.
Okay. What's the answer?
Brando,
I think 5.
Okay.
I think it was 5 people.
I say 4.
Owen's correct. It's 4.
What?
Yes.
So
No.
it's T'Challa's dad,
T'Chaka.
T'Challa,
Yeah.
Killmonger,
Killmonger.
Shuri.
Shuri.
That's it.
But also the original Black Panther.
Well, we didn't really see him in the suit. We saw like a little beady image of him.
I'm
he-
gonna
they
give.
mention
I'm
him in
gonna.
this one,
I'm
right?
gonna. Sorry, Venus. I'm gonna overseed you, and I'm gonna give Brando the point.
Okay.
This was the
Okay.
flashbacks to like
There
the
was a
very
flashback,
first, yeah.
and that's what because it really could be like 9 because when T'Challa goes to the spirit realm, he
Oh,
sees
yeah.
all the other Black Panthers.
Yeah.
But I meant like in their suits.
Suit. Yeah, I got you. But Brando,
enough.
I'm gonna give the point to Brando.
Okay.
Thank you. That's very generous.
Owen taketh and giveth at the
Yes,
same time.
I am a generous god.
With a chicken head.
Gorgon.
I am
Gone. All right, last one. What were the names of the 5 tribes
Oh God.
that were at both crowning ceremonies in 1 and 2?
Oh, the names of the tribes?
Yes.
Oh, shit. I could tell you the colors.
I can give you 1.
Okay.
I can't even do that. I
You can't even give 1.
the gorilla tribe, is that the one you're gonna say?
that's the one. Yeah,
I can't remember. They mentioned it in this movie.
I
I remember they talked about it, but I just
Yeah.
can't remember the name.
Well,
I remember
all right,
M'Baku's
Brandon.
name.
We're gonna go 1 for 1. You go first, and whoever can't name a tribe, the other gets a point.
I love that. I was like, I have to give them one that's going to trip them up.
Oh
We'll see.
yeah, I had a feeling this was gonna be it, but
All right, gorilla tribe.
it's called the Jabaris.
Jabari.
Jabaris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, tribe number 2, Brandon. Go.
The guy with the big disc in his lip.
Yeah, that's the Medistis tribe. Yeah.
Was it really?
No,
Oh,
I don't know.
I was like, how the hell do you remember that?
No, it's the Jabari tribe. That's the only one I remember because I love M'Baku.
Well, wait, what were the names of the other tribes?
Yeah.
Okay. So the tribe, there was the mining tribe. That was the ones in the red.
Uh-huh.
Well, do you have their names?
Yeah.
The
is
tribe
that the
names?
is that the one with the clay dreads?
Yeah.
Yes, that was the mining tribe.
Okay.
Then there was the river tribe. That's the one that Nakia was from because they're the ones in the green.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the one to do with the lip,
Uh-huh.
he's from the river.
Nice.
The merchant tribe, that's the one in the purple.
Oh, I thought you wanted like their tribe names.
That's what I was talking about. That is their tribe names.
No, because of the Jabaris. They're not they have names.
It's mountain tribe.
They're not the mountain tribe. They have names.
Yes, they are.
Well-
it's a mountain tribe. I get that point. I get that point. Cool.
And then there was the border tribe,
Yeah.
the one that rode the
Oh my
rhinos.
god. Yeah.
I'm not even going to try to Google it because I'm not going to try to pronounce all other tribe names. Venus, you're wrong. You lose a point.
Yeah, I'm at -1.
Oh my goodness. So there's so much more to say about
So
this
wait,
movie.
what are we scoring this as?
So
It's
I
right now 2-3, and I think I get a point for actually knowing it's the Jabari
But
tribe.
I said gorilla and mountain, which is also identifiers for that tribe.
Yeah, that's identifiers.
You didn't say the name.
But I said the name.
I didn't say the name. That's true. I didn't.
So is it 2-4 or
But
is
I
it
did
3-3?
say the one with the disc in his lip. That guy.
Yeah, there's also
That was
My-
the
my-
river tribe.
So my little 6-year-old daughter, she leaned over. She's like, "Why does he have that?"
Yeah.
And I was like, she was so mystified by that. It's like, well, it's kind of like an earring, except they make it bigger over time.
Yep.
She's like, wow.
Was that real or was it CGI?
It was a prosthetic.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You I actually saw a queen wear it when
Yeah.
they did it as like a cosplay at a con. So
It's cool that they incorporated another authentic, especially like I said too with the clay dreads and all that stuff. It's like real world stuff.
Those are
into
real
it.
African
Yeah.
tribes.
That was really
Okay.
cool.
Well, it's 2-4. I win. I'm just we're gonna settle it like that, I guess.
That's fair. You
That's
did
fair.
win.
I
You
think so. Yes.
You know more than me.
I as the head chicken of this
The head cock in
grateful
charge? The
pawn.
Chicken head, you mean?
No, the head chicken
no, it's the
of
head
this.
cock.
Yeah. Oh god. Of the big white.
Oh wait, this is about cocks.
Yeah, I'm the
Okay.
big white cock of this group.
The big
That's
white
a different
cock.
kind of
Yeah,
competition. Wait.
Look, you're
I was
married.
gonna, if I was going to be allowed to do comic book stuff, I was going to say, what was M'Baku's comic book villain name? Because he was a villain in the comics.
Oh,
The great white ape,
Close, actually.
great black ape.
No, it was Man Ape.
man.
Oh,
Abe.
okay.
Oh.
But they decided to change it because they were like, black people were called apes.
yeah,
during
yeah.
racism.
It's a little,
Yeah.
Let's
That's a little
not
much.
do
little
that.
too problematic.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, it's a great day. I don't have to spin the wheel next week. So
Brandon gets to.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You know what? This has been an awesome time. Venus
Yes.
is always, your second appearance with us, and you are awesome. So where can people find you, either online or in person?
Yes, online you can find me at Instagram. That's Venus_ANN_Serena. I also host brunch shows at Onzy Blue and at Disc and Cider. And of course, I love my boys here, and I love all of our other friends in Nashville. So if there's an emo event, I'm probably there. No, I'm not always in
That's
drag,
fair.
though.
That's where I saw you last. I ran into you at emo night, and I was like, I haven't seen you in forever.
I know.
Oh yeah. And check out our Instagram and Patreon website. All the links are in the show description, but Banter and Such podcast on Instagram.
And we're proud members of the Helios Network, a collection of great podcasts made by regular people.
You can check us out at www.theheliosnetwork.com.
Yes, to see other amazing shows,
Yes.
such as, what are we highlighting? What do you want to highlight?
The Master and Debaters is
Master and Debaters is
they've
coming out
officially
soon.
launched their Instagram, and they are saying that the first episode's coming out in Christmas.
Oh,
in December.
yes.
And they did a Christmas episode, and it's hilarious.
Oh,
so,
I can't wait to hear more of them.
Yeah.
I've heard
Master
some.
and Debaters.
Yes,
Puck,
it's-
Alex, and Spencer.
This is your new favorite show. I kid you not. They're so funny, man.
Soft
I can't
topics,
wait.
hard opinions.
If you want to laugh, you listen to this show.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to send out links to that when they do launch, and everyone's going to love
if
it.
you follow us on Instagram, you'll see all those links.
Well,
I
thanks,
love it.
Thanks so much for listening to this week's episode of Banter and Such.
Next week, we're talking about something. No, next week we're actually going to do an episode that Brandon and I have been talking about doing for quite a long time.
Yes.
And it's going to be the best sequel of all time.
Best movie sequels
Of all time.
All time.
Oh.
Of all time. We're going to have a debate
Oh.
on what is the best movie sequel.
Heck yeah.
Since I'm not in that episode, can I tell you my favorite sequel?
Sure.
Yes.
Give us a little hint. Is it Batman Returns?
Close, but it's not Batman Returns.
Okay.
It's now Black Panther 2.
That could be in there.
Wakanda Forever now.
Perfect way of ending. Well, I'm Brando.
And I'm Owen.
And until next time, may your week be filled with BS.